Introduction to Oil and Gas Uganda. Presented by Joel. Team Leader. FinUp Consults Limited.
Uganda's oil and gas projects were launched in April 2021. These are the few projects in the global industry to be sanctioned during that period, with another in Mozambique liquefied natural gas launched in November 2019. The investments are expected to increase to about $20 billion in 2024. Development and production. Following the launch of the oil projects in April 2021, CNOOC Uganda and Total Energies E&P Uganda have concluded the procurement processes and granted contracts for the Tilega and Kingfisher projects to some of the biggest and oil majors. These are Tier 1 contractors with large market capitalization. Contracts for the Tilega, Kingfisher, and EACOP projects have been submitted by licensees to Petroleum Authority Uganda for approval. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, PAU, is a statutory body established under Section 9 of the Petroleum, Exploration, Development, and Production Act 2013, and in line with the National Oil and Gas Policy for Uganda, which was approved in 2008. The mandate of the PAU is to monitor and regulate the exploration, development, and production, together with the refining, gas conversion, transportation, and storage of petroleum in Uganda. This includes ensuring that petroleum operations in Uganda are carried out in accordance with the relevant laws, regulations, and guidelines in line with international best practices for the petroleum industry. Whereas Uganda National Oil Company Limited, UNOC, is a limited liability company wholly owned by the government of Uganda. Major players in the oil and gas industry. International oil companies, IOCs. Publicly owned oil and gas companies whose main aim is to maximize and grow profit. Top 6 companies known as super majors. BP plc based in UK. Chevron Corporation in the US. ExxonMobil Corporation in the US. Royal Dutch Shell plc in the Netherlands and UK. Total SAW in France. ConocoPhillips in the US. Smaller companies are referred to as midcaps, juniors, and small oilcos. National Oil Companies, NOC. National Oil Companies, majority state-owned oil companies that has grown out of large domestic reserves with the principal objective of managing production and defending their national interests in the oil and gas sector. NOC top 6 NOCs are Saudi Aramco Saudi Arabia, Gazprom Russia, NIOC Iran, Pemex Mexico, PetroChina China, KPC Kuwait. Unique features of oil industry. It's associated to huge profits. It takes very long period of time and very risky. Uganda oil was discovered in the Albertine Greater region in 2006. It's highly capital intensive. In other words, Uganda oil projected at $20 billion. Probability of heating empty wells is highly risky. Highly subjected to wars. Finite field life. Has a special tax regime. In other words, royalties, windfall profit tax, signature bones. Formation of oil and gas. How is the oil industry structure? Plant and animal plankton on decomposition. Decompose into the ground. Through the soft rock. When it gets to the hard rock, it is subjected to intense heat and then change into hydrocarbons. Then it escapes through a caprock reservoir, which is a porous and permeable stratum that will store crude oil. Crude oil is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons. LNP liquefied natural gas and LPG liquefied petroleum gas. LNG liquefied natural gas is an important, relatively new element to the petroleum business. In that it delivers a product, gas, that could formerly only be transported by pipeline. LNG is a natural gas, mostly methane with butane and various other hydrocarbons. Uses of crude oil and gas. Transportation fuels come from crude oil, i.e. gasoline and diesel for cars and commercial fuel, jet fuel, planes, heating oil, propane, lubricants, oil, motor oils, greases, white oils. Crude oil is used for electronics, i.e. mobile phones, detergents, plastics, medicines, synthetic fibers, asphalt used for road paving, fertilizers, sulfur chemicals and pesticides. Crude oil, considered black gold, is a central part of modern life and energy resource. About 90% of all transportation fuels come from crude oil, i.e. gasoline and diesel for cars and commercial fuel, jet fuel, planes, heating oil, propane, lubricants, oil, motor oils, greases, white oils. The remaining 10% of crude oil is used for electronics, i.e. mobile phones, detergents, plastics, medicines, synthetic fibers, asphalt used for road paving, fertilizers, sulfur chemicals and pesticides. Classification, properties of crude oil. According to sulfur content, it can be high or low. They include the following: sour crude and sweet crude. According to API Gravity, American Petroleum Institute. Light. API greater than 31.1, low in aromatic content and high in paraffinic content, easier to process. Medium. API between 22.3 and 31.1. Heavy API less than 22.3, extra heavy API less than 10. High in aromatic content, more difficult to process. According to weight it can be light or heavy. According to color, clear, brown, amber, black and green. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and comment on our YouTube channel.